And we are live. My name is Terry Thompson. I am the host of Unbreakable Stories here, along with my co-host Bonnie. We was just cracking up some jokes here, and man, I tell you, when you have a friendship, when you have a bond like that right there, you can kind of cut up just a little bit and make each other laugh and cry, and that's what she's doing here. She's wiping the tears of joy from her eyes because we was just cracking a few jokes before the stream. Bonnie, how you doing?
I'm really well, thank you. It's been a year-long week of Mondays, so um,
and it's still Monday. It won't go away. I'm telling you, every day is Monday. And we've had some comments about the Monday shirt. Oh, and Kira wants a shirt, by the way. So
okay,
I texted
amazing.
you that Kira Polson wants a shirt. She saw that
So
on the
cute.
Movement Makers training, and she says, "I love that shirt. Where do I get one?" So I was like, "Hey,
That's,
I'll reach out to Bonnie. She'll get you one made and get it delivered out to you. But just let me know."
yeah, that's amazing and funny because I just saw her name for the first time, and I was like, I want to reach out to her and do a session with her, and then boom, here you are, like Carrie wants a shirt, and we haven't talked yet, so that was just kind of cool. Anyways, it's been a week of coincidences and synchronicities and whatnots.
I love it, man. So tonight, the goal for tonight is we're going to talk about passion. So Bonnie and I, we're both in Evan Carmichael's Movement Makers, and part of the monthly challenge is that he challenges movement makers to create content and do collaboration videos, and that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to collaborate on passion, who was selected by Peter. Peter Ong is in the chat right here, and we're going to have him on the show here tonight as well too, because it's his topic. And we're going to talk about what passion means to us. Like, what is passion and what does it mean to you? So let's go ahead and kick off the show. Bonnie, what is passion and what does it mean to you?
Wow.
And what is your passion, by the way?
Yeah, I was gonna say there are, it's almost like a loaded question, right? Because depending on, my goodness, we could diving down so many rabbit holes with this one. Depending on like what the topic is, or like passion has many different faces, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you can be passionate with your partner, and that's one meaning. You can be passionate with your work. You can be passionate with your life's mission. And I really feel like it's just one of those, it's giving it your all in whatever it is that you're doing at the moment. And with excitement and enthusiasm. And I don't think I have a passion. Like I don't feel like that's necessarily the most accurate use of the word, and I know it gets thrown around a lot, but I'm passionate about a lot of different things. Um, and for me, it's just when you're doing whatever that thing is, that you're putting, 110% and being fully present and doing that thing.
Yeah, I love it. So what if you could narrow it down to like maybe one thing, like what is like the number one passion that like wakes you up every single morning, like I have to do this, I must do this. This is like the thing that I absolutely live for. What would that one thing be?
This is going to sound really broad, but it's really just helping people, um, empower themselves in whatever that looks like. And some mornings, that's cheering my 6-year-old on that he can put on his own socks and shoes, mostly because I don't want to do it for him. But like in that moment, I'm super passionate. Um,
Let's go, little big man. You got this. Go.
yeah, like I know full well he's been getting. And if he was going to like the store with his dad, there would be no question. But because it's school in the morning, he's a little pep talk.
Mhm.
Um, so that's helping him empower himself.
Mhm.
And I do anxiety coaching, so I help people in some of their toughest moments. I was working with a woman the other day, and I could see in her face that she felt kind of shameful about what she was telling me. And I was like, look, nothing you're telling me is a surprise. This is a safe space. I don't mean like a surprise about her, but like I've gone through a lot of the stuff you're telling me. Like I was getting goosebumps for almost like the whole 45 minutes I talked to her. By the time we got off the call, I was like, I'm going to sit here with you face to face while you complete this task that's kind of freaking you out. And when she was done, and I'm goosebumps again, she was like, yes, I did the thing. It's done. It's over with. I've been worrying about it for 5 days. And like, and so those kinds of things really, um, yeah, that's what really fills me up and what I feel passionate
Yeah.
about. And to the point where I've had to start setting boundaries for myself and not be the helper and fixer all the time, because sometimes I'm trying to help and fix in situations where people don't want help or someone else to fix the problem for them. So
Yeah, I love that. So for me, passion is one of those things, as I was describing earlier. It's that thing that wakes you up in the morning. It's that thing that you cannot stop thinking about. It drives you nuts every single day. You're like, oh man, I love this. I want to do this. I have to do this. I must do this. I get to do this, and I'm excited about it. And that's what passion is for me. So for me, I've had quite a few passions over the years. I truly have. When I was younger, I had this passion of being a professional baseball player. And I was like, man, I'm working hard. I'm training hard every single day. And you can ask some of my high school friends. I ate, I lived, breathed, I slept with my baseball bat. I mean, I'm telling you, I had a passion for baseball, and I was a great baseball player when I was younger. I played high school ball, college ball, I played semi-pro ball, I played against Team USA. I could go on down the line with like all the things that I did with baseball. And I was even pretty good at basketball. Basketball wasn't really a passion of mine, but baseball was. And I loved it, but I'm telling you, I had a career-ending injury that stopped me completely within my tracks, and that ended my passion. I was like, oh my goodness, man, what do I do now? That was like what I was dreaming for. That was like the thing, and now I don't have it no more. What do I do? So I pivoted. I shifted over into a couple of different things, and then I joined the military and I was served in the military for 24 years, and that really became my purpose, which is a whole different thing. So I didn't really have a
yeah,
passion for joining the military. I can tell you that. That was the furthest thing and the last thing on my mind, but it ended up being my purpose. And I found purpose in that. And I found passion in leading soldiers, leading missions, leading other people to where they could become successful. Now, it wasn't always fun. I definitely can't tell you that every single day was an absolute blast, but I did enjoy a lot of things. I had some great people that I was able to lead, and I learned from them just as much as they learned from me. And we had some great times. And then when I retired out of the military, I'm telling you, I was struggling. I was like, gosh, what do I do now? I don't play baseball, don't have the military. I went into a contract job, but I always had this passion for like other things, like creating and writing and speaking, because throughout my military career, I did a lot of that. I did a lot of speaking. I did a lot of writing. I did a lot of those things, but it was military based. And I think that really kind of built the foundation of my knowledge and my skills and my experience. And when I transferred that over to the civilian world, and I was able to do things like write books, build websites, create products and services, and join programs and be around, podcasts and all these different things that I was able to really kind of develop. That became my passion. And I'm sitting here like, wow, I get to serve people. I get to talk people. I get to influence and impact people on a daily basis. And that right there has become my passion. And it's one of those things to where it's not fun every single day. I'll be completely transparent. Every day it's not fun. But you know what? It's the difference between waking up and saying, I get to do this versus I have to do this. And when you enjoy that, when you truly enjoy the process, when you enjoy the journey, when you enjoy the thing, man, there's no stopping that. Like, you're going to keep on going. Last month, we talked about consistency. And I truly believe that when you're taking action on your passion, you will be consistent within that. But man, what is your passion? What is the thing? So for me right now, I would say that I have a passion for writing. I have a passion for leading. I have a passion for talking. I have a passion for being around like-minded people, like the two amazing people that we have waiting backstage that we're going to bring on here very shortly. Alay and Mariella is waiting patiently backstage. So we're going to bring them on here real quickly. But before we do, I just want to say, Bonnie, is there anything else that you want to add before we start bringing friends on?
I was just gonna say actually quickly, you could probably see I was looking at my phone. I was looking at the definition. And the first thing that popped up actually had to do, it was a religious um, definition. But the one that I think that resonates best with me is the strong and barely controllable emotions. And so I think that's why I have a hard time saying what my passion is, because I feel passionately about these different things. I haven't necessarily labeled any one activity my passion. And so that's just some wordplay and some word differences. And I mean, you've known me long enough to know that I love to dig into the meanings of words and really figure it out. So yeah, I think that would be it for me, is that um, we're able to move from thing to thing sometimes because it's an emotional connection that we have to whatever the activity is. And so yeah, it's
I love that. All right, so we're going to hear from some friends. We have some amazing friends waiting backstage. Welcome to the show. Let's go ahead and get them on up here. Alay, Mariella, we've got Peter on here. How's everybody doing?
Hello, everyone.
Awesome. So I'm doing absolutely fantastic. So here's what we're going to do. Tonight we are talking about passion, and it's a part of Evan Carmichael's Movement Makers group. And I got two questions. Number one, what is passion? And then number two, what is your passion? So we'll go with Alay, we'll go with Peter, and then we'll finish up with Mariella here. Unless somebody else does come on, we'll bring them up here. But Alay, over to you. What is passion and what is your passion?
Thank you very much, Terry and Bunny and all of you. Very nice to see you tonight. It's interesting because I had an idea of what passion was, and then Bunny talked about her topic and definition and the emotion. And it's something that I had never thought about that way. So thank you, Bonnie. You put a nice curved ball in my thinking. So that's very nicely done. I was for me, passion is something that I'm willing to do despite life's curved ball. There's always something happening. And if it's something I'm passionate about, then what happened is, even though sometimes things get busy, there's outside stressors, then I'm still willing and have the energy to move forward. And I know because I have some friends, and sometimes if I have a few things that I have to do, knowing I can follow my passion, then people say they just cannot keep up with what I do, because I do things so fast so that I can free time for my passion. Mm-hmm. And if you were to think about what my passion is, for forever, it's always been learning. And the reason is I'm from a Quebec province, and it's a French-speaking province. And if I wanted to get out of that environment, I had to learn English. So in some ways, the learning part allowed me to explore more, to expand my thinking, and be here and share things with you and learn from you tonight. So this is my big passion, learning, and I'm sure I'll have a chance to share with you more information later.
Yeah, I love that. So let's go ahead and turn it on over to Peter. Peter, what is passion to you, and what is your passion?
Yeah, thank you, Terry. So I think the passion is that you have the enthusiasm, the energy, the eagerly that thing they want to do. But all the thing that the enthusiasm is all come from your heart, not from your head. Yeah. So you were willing to do it, then you will continue and have the energy to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And for me, the passion is teaching and coaching. So I've been teaching for 15 years. And when I see the students, they have the achievement, then I feel I have the passion to continue to teach them. Yeah.
I love that, Peter. Thank you so much for sharing, Peter. Mariella, over to you. What is passion to you, and what is your passion?
Passion to me is something that you like to do. To me, passion is learning, being involved. Sometimes you can get lost on the way to pursue your passion, but in the back of your mind, if that always kind of, if that is what you believe, is always gonna be present. Whether you are with me, the passion is like cooking. So cooking or being in the kitchen, even though sometimes you can step out of it, but you can always find a way. Like yesterday example, I had a dream about cooking, and and then so today I haven't been active with you guys and in general, but today I said, like, you know what, let me do a cooking. So today I did some cooking today. So
I love that.
you
And I
enjoy.
smelled that delicious food all the way from here. I'm telling you.
So yeah, so that's what I did. I said, you know what, let me just do something to start. So basically passion is something that you just continue even though after the burning sensation is left. That's what's
Mm.
passion.
I love that. Mariella, thank you so much. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a rapid fire roundtable to where we can get more than one collaboration in, because we have to do 3 collaborations as a part of the challenge. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give each of you an opportunity to collaborate with each other. So I'll bring Bonnie and myself off the screen. So I'm not going to tell you who's going to come up on screen, but we're going to get an opportunity to collaborate with everybody. So there's going to be, we're all going to get all 3 of our collaborations in here tonight. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and if you see yourself left on screen, you can collaborate. I will give you 5 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll go 5 minutes. You'll have 5 minutes to collaborate, and then I'll bring up the next 2, and we'll just continue on until we have all collaborated with each other. But I want to put a tight 5-minute time limit on that, so that way we can all get through the collaborations. Sound like a plan? Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and rock, man. I'm gonna go ahead and remove Bonnie.
All
Peter,
right.
how are you doing, Peter, tonight?
Great. Yeah.
Excellent. I loved what you mentioned earlier, because you mentioned that you love teaching and coaching. And I think I like the idea that when you're passionate about something, you want to show others what you love and what you do and so on.
Yes,
What are your
correct,
thoughts
yeah.
on that one?
Yeah, because when we see their achievement, right? So although some students, they might slow progress, but when the slow progress, when I saw them the step by step, then they learn a bit by a bit. Then when it comes to the exam, or because I'm teaching Japanese, so as you're teaching the front, right? So the language not only like you pass the exam, but how you're going to communicate with the Japanese or use the other language. So when they able to use the language to communicate with the native Japanese, then I feel that, what I taught them is really have the so-called achievement to them and to myself as well. Then this is so-called my passion to continue to teach them. Yeah.
No,
How
it
about
makes
you?
sense. It makes sense. Interestingly enough, I always I bring my passion to a class or to a group.
Yeah.
But what is hard sometimes is try to get students' passion inside what we do. And that allows them to sometimes learn vocabulary of their own that is different than others. But that's always a challenge, but it's so rewarding if you can get students' passion in what you do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So do you do your teaching in online, or you do face-to-face teaching and coaching?
Yeah, previously it's more on the face-to-face, but now it's online. And for some, the company, they also want to have their staff to learn Japanese, then that one will be in face-to-face. Yeah.
And what are some of the activities you use in your group to bring students' passion out so that they get excited with what they do in your class?
Yeah,
What do you like to
this
do?
great question, because when we just teaching using the textbook, so they might be think that quite bored that learning through the textbook. But one thing that I taught them is the role play.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So with the role play, give them the certain scenario. For example, they want to go to the shop to buy something, or they want to book the flight ticket. When they have role play, then they will feel the excitement and go into the role play, the scenario. Then they can learn better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because in my class, in my French class right now, I do. They have a project where they are doing a research on a country they'd like to travel to, a country where they speak French. And the idea is they have unlimited budget. They have a chance to go learn, so do a research to learn something, and then they're going to share with their class what they've learned. But because they choose the country, they choose what they do there. It's they're all excited to do that, so it's fun.
Yeah, I like your idea that it's so unlimited budget.
Yes.
So when they have the unlimited budget, then they can have a lot of imagination. When they had unlimited budget, then what they can do.
Especially nowadays with the technology. With the internet, you can almost go and see what museums are like. When some cities are, you can even have live camera on what the storefronts and so on. So it's always interesting to do that.
Yeah, that's why they can have. So into the scenario, then they can have the conversation together.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They do like competition. I try not to put too much competition because there's always a few people more advanced than others. Because in my class, I have 30 people at the same time. So there's a bit of competition, but I try to keep it controlled. Unless there's some students that are on a league of their own, then I just let them go, and then they just shine in their own ways.
Yeah.
And
so So how do you like let's say some students they cannot cope to follow the advanced students. So what the strategy you use with your passion to let them to follow?
No, it's a great question. Usually, so I've learned over the years that when I give instructions, I always give very, very detailed instructions for people that have more difficulties. So from them, and I work much closely with them. So they have to fill out, a mind map or something like this. So I work with them at their level. On the other hand, people that are more advanced in the language, they look at the detailed instructions. And from there, what do? They have their own ideas. And then I allow them to pick their ideas. So I always have a list of options. So students that have more difficulties, they choose options I provide. And I always have at the bottom, other topics are available, just talk to me. So usually there's maybe, 70% of the class follows the list I give. And there's always 30% they ask, can I do this? Can I do that? And it's just amazing.
I love that. Absolutely fantastic conversation, guys. Man, great collaboration. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and bring up the next two collaborators. We're going to bring Bonnie and Mariella in, and I'm truly excited to hear what they have to say. So let me go ahead and remove you guys and bring up these ladies. Have a great conversation.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi. I thought for a minute. Good. Did you dye your hair red too, or you have blonde on?
No. I just have my hair is in the process of growing. So
okay.
Now I can see your hair. You dye your hair. That's also a passion of mine, is the dyeing hair and cutting hair and stuff like that. No, I had to put something on because my hair is growing, so it's all over the place. So I had to hold it down.
But I got you, because mine was doing like this thing earlier. So
yes, yeah, but I like the color. It looks good on you.
Thank you. Something different.
Yeah.
So I want to dig into your. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay.
I was just going to ask you what your favorite thing to cook is. I know that you're super passionate about cooking. So what is your absolute favorite dish or food to cook?
Well, actually, I like Spanish food, and basically my hot sauce has always been the one that has been the number one thing that actually was the passion that I always had. It was the hot sauce, and continue with that. But in general, I have enjoyed being in the kitchen, cooking rice with chicken or soups. A lot of soups. I love soups. I love steaks, shrimp. I can't eat shrimp, but for some reason I'm still on it. I like eating shrimp, so it's not a good thing, if you're not supposed to be eating it. But I like different dishes of food, so different varieties. It's always awesome.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you talking about your hot sauce, and
yeah,
I know we still need to link up at some point and look into that a little more. I really, really love that you were saying, you said something that I hadn't thought about when Terry initially asked me the question, and that's that it's something you always come back to. And so, although I'm practicing like helping people every day is something that, it's just in my nature, but it
Yeah.
also feels really good. Creativity has got to be that thing that I come back to in one way, whether I'm making shirts or I'm sewing something
Nice.
or like, oh my goodness, drawing, or I was never really good at painting per se, but any type of like art, cake. I used to make cakes. Like that was like
Oh.
cake decorator, if you will, for a while. I really got one fondant that was just like really big. It's like playing with Play-Doh,
Mm-hmm.
but it's edible. Like I learned how to make my own fondant and everything. So that I'm really glad you said that, because those are things that I'm super passionate about. And it's almost like when I start doing the thing, I can't stop doing the thing. So
Yeah. This in you.
got all my cake stuff and it's all over the kitchen. Like I just want to keep making cakes to the point where sometimes I have to set myself like a time limit or that like a deadline. Like I'm gonna play with this for the weekend, but then I gotta put everything away because I have things to do. But I'm always coming back to some type of creative outlet. Like I literally can't live without some creativity. Is that how you feel
Yeah.
about cooking?
Yes, it's almost like a getaway kind of thing, you know. Sometimes it's like when I love when I enjoy watching after you finish either cooking and stuff, and the way makes people feel, the food. It
Yeah.
makes them feel comfortable. It makes you feel proud. It makes you feel like, okay, you can cook, you know. So and that's the main focus, is basically showing people, that you have the passion, but also enjoying the outcome of your cooking, to be able to see people's reactions, yeah, or like even if it's like a good reaction or a bad reaction, or it might not be on point, you can at least know that you did it, and you are, that you created yourself. So basically, yeah, it is one thing. Once you have a passion for something, you just don't stop, or you're stopped, but then something in the back of your mind is always, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was the one thing when people used to ask me about like what I loved about making shirts. I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
just love taking somebody's idea and bringing it to life and then seeing their face when I show them the finished product. 'Cause
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely pride, but it's also definitely like watching the other person feel good
Yeah,
about what it is, something that you made with your hands, right? Something that you
facts.
created. So that's definitely like an awesome byproduct of being passionate about what you do, no matter what that is. Like I almost said the boys. When Peter and
The kids.
Ale were talking, yeah, I know, I'm always talking about my boys. When they were talking about their passion for teaching, it's the same thing, right? It's like when their students get it, when the thing clicks, they feel really good about the fact that they've been able to help them get to that point.
Of course.
Awesome. Truly fantastic conversation, ladies. So we're going to go ahead and move right on along. I'm going to go ahead and move both of you down. I'm going to bring up the next person who's going to have a collaboration with me. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Alay up. I want to talk to Alay because we both have a passion for pretty much kind of the same thing here. So Alay, we are both educators. I write courses in which instructors teach, and you teach in a classroom. We both have taught in a classroom. And I have a passion for that as well, too. And I truly believe that the future of education is changing, but I also believe that the future of education relies on entrepreneurs as well, too, to change that future of education and how it's evolving. So I want to talk to you about your passion for teaching here. As I'm resetting the stopwatch here, got a little stopwatch going, but how has your passion for teaching evolved over time? And I truly believe that it has evolved with technology and so on and so forth. But how have you seen your passion for teaching evolve over time with the introduction of technology?
Okay, that's an excellent question. when I first started to think of teaching, I was a geologist and I loved to be with junior geologists and sharing what I knew and getting them to explore and seeing how they feel when they learn something new. So that was technology. It was outside. It was amazing. Over the years, then I decided to be a teacher so I could be home more often. It's better for family. And then I realized that the beauty of technology, instead of having like a teacher-centered type lessons, you end up with putting a lot of resources online. You have some videos, you have some text, you set up some labs. So what happened is technology allows students to learn at their own pace, but also the way they love to learn. And that's the big difference that I see. Because at the beginning, often teaching was more, here's a group of students. Now I try to cater to the fact that some students learn so much better when they watch a video. Others, they just want to read, they want quietness. And others, for example, in science, they just need hands-on. If they cannot do it with their hands, it's not going in. So that has been some of the changes. And how have things evolved over time? Because you were in the army for a long time and that changed, and now you're out of it, and it's all about technology now to share your knowledge.
So teaching has evolved as well too. And one great way in which we've learned is to really we've used technology to our advantage. And I have a passion for technology. I mean, technology is one of those things. I love it. You should see all of the gadgets that I have. It's crazy. I have so many different things around here. So I have a passion for technology and gadgets. I have to have like all the latest stuff. Nice. I just have to have it. It's one of those things like, I want to see what this does. I want to see what it looks like, feels like, touches like. How can I do different things differently with this thing? But in a classroom, sometimes you always cannot really use that technology. And that's where the importance of experiential learning comes into play. And that's where sharing concrete experiences is really important. So I also have a passion for communication. So one great way in which we do that is to get rid of the technology and go back to good old fashioned face-to-face communications, sharing your experience. Because here's the thing, we all have knowledge, we all have skills, but the number one thing that separates each and every one of us is our experience. And when we share that, when we communicate that, they're like, ooh, I like that Alay did that. It might be possible for me, because if it's possible for Alay, it could be possible for me. And that's the power of communication. That's the power of collaboration. That's the power of having those conversations to where it gives people ideas in which they can be like, ooh, I didn't know that was even possible. And now somebody else just discovered their passion through something that they saw that was possible because of you.
And you know what? Technology has evolved in a way that, like, if you take students, teenagers, even adults, people are great consumers of tech, so social medias and so on. And if you tap on the fact that they like social media, and if you get them to realize they can go from consumerism of social media to, okay, let's do a hands-on activity, do a poster, let's create something. And then why don't you create something to post online? And they do enjoy that quite a bit. We did labs this week, and that's what they like to do. They did the 15-second videos on labs, and that's what they were posting. And it was interesting because instead of letting things in, they were contributing to what they were doing online. So that was exciting.
As a teacher, do you have a passion for learning?
Yes.
That's a trick question, but it is tricky though.
I know. The problem is that in the last 6 months, I realized it's almost like an addiction, because if you love learning, you like to take it in, but then you forget that you can share that with others, and others can learn so much from you. And that has been the mindset shift I've been doing lately. And I think
still struggle with that, man. You know, it's like, I know that I have to learn. I know that I have to continuously build on my knowledge, my skills, my experience and everything. But having a passion for learning versus a passion for teaching, I think that if you must have a passion for learning in order to continue having the passion for teaching, because if you're no longer developing those new knowledge and skills, it's going to look, feel, and sound like you're stale, you're stagnant. You have nothing new to offer. So you must have a passion for learning in order to continue having that passion for teaching. Do you have any additional thoughts on that before we transition over to the next speaker?
I would say that it's very important to get with people that have like-minded goals
Mm.
and passions. That's why I love to be with you, talking with you, Terry, Bonnie, and the group, and Peter, because you are with people that are like-minded, and
Yeah,
then it gives you energy to learn more, so you can teach more.
I
So,
love
and
that.
I learned that from you all the time.
I love that. So I want to bring Mariella up here next because I want to talk to her about some food. I'm getting hungry just knowing that she has a passion for, because I love to eat and I love food as well too. But I want to bring Mariella back up here and let's have a conversation about some food. Mariella, you have a passion for cooking. You have a passion for food. Where did that begin? How did that start for you? You're on mute.
Oops, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. The passion for cooking, it came from me liking spicy food. So in my country,
Mm,
we liked a lot of hot sauce. So and I personally enjoy lemons, the hot sauce. So basically, that's where my passion started at. And then I also enjoy watching people enjoy their food. And
mm,
I when I cooked, I noticed I was a good cook, and then I noticed I wanted to continue doing that, and then I created a hot sauce on which I'm slacking. But my passion has died down as it has died down. The dream is still there, but my passion has failed right now. But I thank you, Terry, because a lot of you guys always bring me back to remind me that I still have a purpose, and having people, that good people around you, it makes you realize that that you still have a passion, like that cooking is your passion that you can't give up. So I do appreciate that. um,
yeah.
on that note.
I love that. And I don't really have a passion for cooking. So for me, cooking is really out of necessity. But I use water for everything. I actually boil all of my food, but I like throw so much spice in it. It's crazy because I don't really use like salt and pepper, but I
No.
will put different spices in it. Like I will put garlic and I will put smoked paprika. I'll put
Mhm.
oregano, onions, things like that in there. But man, I just don't have the passion for cooking. It's one of those things that I do out of necessity because man, we got to eat.
But you do like your wife's cooking.
I love it. My
There
wife
you
is from
go.
South America. My wife is from South America, so she puts
Yes.
some spice on it. She
And
does.
see, so
Not like hot spicy, but like
you
good
enjoy.
tasting spice. Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. But I do like my spicy food. So the thing is that I'll actually take some jalapenos and throw it over top of my rice. I'll take some cayenne pepper and put it on my rice. I'll
Yeah.
take some salsa, different. I will put that on my rice. And they're like, "What are you doing? You're messing it up." No, man. It's like you don't understand when
You
you have a passion for like spicy, like hot stuff.
yeah, you will
You will,
definitely have love my hot sauce. Definitely.
yeah. I'm telling you, you will put jalapeno. I'm going to go crazy here. Now, I've never done this, but I'm just saying if maybe there's people that have done this and I would never try this, but I don't know. There's probably people that would put jalapenos in cereal. I'm just saying.
I bet. I bet. I won't be surprised.
But I wouldn't do it. I definitely couldn't do that. But man, I love jalapenos. I love food. I love to eat. And it's one of those things that I've always, and I think I got that from my dad. I've had a passion for food, a passion for eating because I grew up with my dad traveling around the world.
That's
I grew up not only myself being in the military, but my mom was married 4 times, and 3 of those guys were also in the military. I spent a lot of time traveling around the world, so I got to experience a lot of the different foods from different countries, different cultures, different places. And I loved it. Every time I go somewhere new, I got to try the food. I don't care about going and seeing all the other places. Like I have such a passion for food. The first thing on my mind, where are we eating?
that's right. That's the best part. That's what it is. It's like it makes you like food makes you like a home, like like feel warm inside. It's like a welcoming. It's almost like it's almost like a drug, but a good drug.
Mhm.
You are addicted to too much, then baby becomes too much.
I
But
love it.
it's
I
delicious.
love it. 100%. We got about 2 more minutes before I transition over to the next collaborator. What is your question for me in reference to passion?
Um, how do you get back after you kind of lose yourself?
Mhm.
Um, and your passion kind of like faded.
One step at a time. One
Yeah.
action at a time. And the thing is that whenever you step away from it, that's a part of self-care, and that's very important. You know,
Mm-hmm.
stepping away from something so that you can see things from a different light, a different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe getting some new knowledge and skills, maybe
Oh, oh, oh.
oh, here we go. We're coming back.
Okay.
We're slowly coming back. I still got I can hear you, but okay, as long as you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh-oh.
Oh
I
no.
think we're kind of cutting in and out here. There
Oh.
we go. You back?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, there we go. So my internet just kind of went all crazy on me here. But baby steps, you know, little steps, and giving yourself grace and giving yourself some empathy as well too, that hey, you know, I needed to take this break. It was for me, so that a way I can get back after it and do those things. And when you get back after it, here's where it really gets exciting, is when you try different things. You be creative with it. You're like, man, I'm going to get fancy with it tonight. What am I going to do with this? What can I do? When you start to get that creativeness back, I think that really kind of helps you get your passion, because you know, I cook the same thing pretty much every single night. It's like, man, I don't have a passion for cooking. I have a passion for eating, but I don't have a passion for cooking. But it's like, how do I get that back? Well, I try to do things. I put a little bit here, a little bit there. It's like, ooh, I like this. And as you start to create, you start to discover. As you start to discover, you start to get excited. Then you're like, oh, what can I do over here? Oh, how can I do that over there? And then as you start to get this, you know, that little bit of momentum and that little excitement back, you start to gain that passion back. And then here's the other thing that I want to share with you as well too. If you lose your passion, teach someone. When you teach someone, then your passion for teaching someone will instill that passion and that purpose within them. And I guarantee you that if you're not serving someone, you're losing your purpose, you're losing your passion. So teach someone, serve someone. You have an amazing child. Teach your
Yeah.
child to cook, get your child involved, do those things. My wife does that too. She gets my daughter involved. My son doesn't want to do it, but you know what? Oh, you're going to learn, you're going to cook, you know, kind of a thing. So we get them involved, and we teach them, and that right there gives you your purpose, gives you your passion, and gives you your energy and your life back
I love
towards that thing.
I love that, Terry. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. So I want to talk to Lexi. I haven't talked to Lexi in a while. So let me go ahead and get Lexi on up here. Marielle, I'm going to go ahead and tuck you back down into the audience here. And Lexi, tonight we're talking about passion. I want to know, what is passion to you, and what is your passion?
The latter is a little bit difficult because I have so many passions. I could go from drumming to trying to figure things out, whether it's tech related or doing puzzles. Um, but passion is for me something I really want to do, and I can't do anything else but keep doing it. I think I'm passionate about, and that's funny because you actually said it just now, about teaching people, about getting things across, about seeing them getting a better life, about seeing them like, hey, life is worth living. If I can get people to feel the joy of life again, that's passion. And going to concerts and being able to jump, which I not have been able to do completely, but sort of recently I have. Um, just getting into music. I think that's a passion of mine too.
Mhm.
As for food, because I was listening to what you guys are saying, um, I'm not really into the whole pepper thing. Um, I get all sweaty and all that stuff, and lately I've become allergic to it. So, um, but good food, and especially if it's been made like really juicy, I can appreciate that. But that's
Mhm.
something different than passion. So passion, yeah, getting things, learning things, how to do things. Well, you know about playing drums, and when I really get to do something which is very complicated, and I get it done, then it's like yes. What's your passion, by the way? Because I missed that part.
I love that you said music, because music is one of my many passions. So I want to talk about music, and I want to stay on the music bit because that's something that you and I can relate with, and that's something that you and I can resonate with. I love music. So once again, my mom was married 4 times. 3 of those men were soldiers. One of those guys was a musician. He was in a band. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1994, 93, 94, somewhere around there. So he didn't really get to make it. They was borderline. They was like right there, right when he passed away. His band went on to go make an album, make a CD. So they have music out there. Well, in the 90s they did, but it was so frustrating because I was like, man, my stepdad did not get to achieve his ultimate passion, which was to record that album, record that record, that CD, and get that out there. But his band still went on and recorded one of his songs. So they didn't record all of his songs, but they recorded one of his songs on the CD, and that was kind of paying homage to him for him passing away. And that's where I got the music side of me, because I grew up watching him play. I was like, I'm going to be on stage just like you. I'm going to play guitar. I'm going to play the piano like you, and the drums like this dude over here. And I'm going to sing and I was like, man, I loved every weekend. I was at the bars just dancing. I was drinking. I was hanging out. So I had a passion for music, and I actually write my own music. I have a full recording studio. I play drums. I play bass. I play guitar, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, rhythm, lead. I play piano, all the above. I've written so many songs over the years, and I've always kind of kept it to myself. So I have a passion for music. I put some of it out there a little bit. There's little bits and pieces of it, out on the interwebs, kind of a thing, but I've always kind of kept it to myself. And I'm like, man, I'm being so selfish for doing that. So I have a passion for that, but it's like I'm being selfish by not letting that out into the world. But I also have a passion for, once again, making beats and doing just anything music related. So I do have a YouTube channel out there. It's Loopback Beats, and I'm recording music, playing music. And years ago, so I actually created my very first YouTube channel back in 2006, many years ago. So that was me singing, playing the guitar, doing different things out there. And I kind of look back on it nostalgically like, man, that was me 17 years ago on YouTube when it first came out. I had no idea. It was during the MySpace age. So I was, on MySpace and just getting into YouTube and this, that, and the other. So music is a passion of mine. I love listening to it. I love all kinds of music. I do not discriminate. And it puts me in a different mood every time I listen to something different. But I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I have not been able to write anything for years. I have not been able to write anything for years. I'm having such an absolute brain block for writing music. Now I can write books and stories and all these different things magically. I can do all that. I can create courses, but music, I'm at a roadblock. I'm absolutely at a roadblock. So I'll pull out the guitar, the piano, and I'll play and this, that, and the other just to kind of keep the skills going. But I'm struggling with it. And that's one of my many passions is music.
Yeah, I totally get you. I know how to write songs because that's kind of easy, same sort of like writing stories and building up to something and getting that one thing out. But when it comes to music, but one time I was working with this Novation pad, where you have like those 36 or something pads on there. And then you can create the rhythms. I'm not good at it. I always need someone to show me how it works. But when I was doing it, I noticed because you can also add sounds to it, not just rhythm, and then you can keep it going. And I noticed when I was doing that, which basically is totally different compared to a keyboard or anything, something started happening and I got in that creative mood. So I don't know if you have any of those pads where you can actually tap on,
I do.
this. Okay,
Yeah, I do.
try it. Then I'm going to do the same, and then let's see
Awesome.
what's happening.
All
Because
right.
I noticed that because there was no pressure, I didn't have to come up with something. I was just listening to, oh, do I like this? No, I don't. Okay,
Yeah.
so turn it off.
Rhythm patterns. I get it. I have rhythm patterns that go through my head all day long. And from there, what makes it music is when you make the chords and the notes and the different
Yeah,
things. But
yeah, exactly.
I constantly think in patterns of rhythm. I
Hmm.
will sit there and I will go through my head all these different patterns all day long. But here's the deal. I want to bring up the next two collaborators. And so that way we can keep the show going and everybody gets their collaborations in. So I want to bring up Alay and I want to bring up Mariella and let them two collaborate real quick. So Lexi, thank you so much. I look forward to continuing to talk with you, but I want to get the next collaborators up here.
Okay, thank you.
Let me get Alay up here. Let me get Mariella up here and remove myself.
Hello, Mariella. How are you doing tonight? Can you turn on your mic, please?
I'm so sorry. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, I wanted to talk to you tonight because as people were asking you your passion, you mentioned that you were talking about cooking in your dream. And that's my question to you. Do you feel that dreaming keeps the passion alive sometimes?
Yes, definitely. I even have like dreams. Like I said, I had a dream yesterday that I actually like made something, and because I have been not doing cooking and stuff. But yesterday I had a dream. In the dream, I was actually like cooking, and I actually was serving, and people were trying my food. And in the dream, it was showing them like what I usually was doing. So then when I got up, I was like, man, I think I should go back to it. That was almost like a reaffirmation of, maybe it's not everything is lost.
It's interesting because sometimes our dream just remind us that there's something that we need to pay attention. It's like a little tap on the shoulder sometimes. Very nice. Do you dream often?
Too much.
Oh, I see. Well, they seem to be positive because dreaming about cooking and being energized in the morning, I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Yes. But with your teachings, I just want to know, like, what you do. You do like visual teaching and stuff like that with you got you
So,
have clients.
no, I work in a high school, so for the public system, and I've been teaching for more than 20 years. And I teach French and also science. These are the two things that I do, and both are exciting. And I did face to face for a while. Then for the last 2 years, I did it virtually. So I wanted to try it. I was seeing Terry doing his collaboration online. I said, well, I can do this. So I learned a lot. But after 2 years, it was time for me to come back in the school so I could be with students so we can chat. And I was missing this idea of doing scientific labs, collect data. And if you are to have a presentation, for example, or a discussion in a French class, I do enjoy it so much more when we're face to face, because then it's not just the voice, but you can feel how the person is feeling, and it's
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's hands-on kind of like, some people like, yeah, they're right. Some of them that are visuals, and some of them that are, that they learn by doing, with the hands. And so, yeah. And also it makes good if you are a good teacher too,
And teaching, the same thing as cooking. In some ways, the audience makes it more fun for so when you cook, to have some feedback always makes it more interesting for you to cook. Same thing with teaching. And in virtual school, it was great, but I felt there was less feedback we could get because it was just easy for people further away, not to be part of a class or not be as involved, for example.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's the same thing with cooking. Is best when you can actually like cook, and then the people can see it through the computer, but then when actually you are tasting it, or actually like trying the food, it's delicious. So yeah, definitely.
It's interesting. You just reminded me. In my class today, we were talking about dreaming, and and it's interesting because the question was, if someone cannot see, can they see images in their mind? And then I said, well, if they cannot see in real life, they cannot see in dreams, but they could smell. And then it opened a whole conversation
It's
having smells and other senses in your dream. It's interesting. And cooking is all the senses at the same time. So.
And it's good because with cooking, it's like you either you love it or you don't. Like Lady Lexi was saying, what it calls, she was saying that she doesn't like hot spicy food, in some way, like it can go from some people liking it, some people don't. So the taste buds, you can actually like feel like how she felt like not liking it, but then she says she enjoys different other food, than example like cookies or something.
Yeah.
So definitely she can definitely show it.
It makes a difference. I agree. At home, if I cook something, if they like it, that's great. If they don't like it, they have to cook their own food, because I don't cook 2 meals if they don't want to.
That's right.
Yeah,
You get what you get.
that's right.
Awesome. That was a truly
Okay.
phenomenal conversation right there. Great collaboration. So I'm going to bring up Bonnie and I'm going to bring up Peter next. Truly excited to hear what they have to say here. So Bonnie, Peter.
Yeah, Bonnie.
Hey, I don't think we've ever talked one-on-one before.
Yeah, right.
That's freaking cool.
Let's go. Yes, I want to ask you, okay, one of your passion is design the t-shirt, right? So perhaps you want to share about more how you go into this so-called the industry to design the shirt. What made you passionate about design the shirt?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. It's been a while since I kind of told that story. So full disclosure, I didn't start out wanting to be a t-shirt designer. I got a cutting machine that cuts vinyl and paper and other things. And I was pregnant with my 4th child. We were barely making ends meet. My husband was working his butt off and I wasn't working. And so I was trying to figure out a way to make some just like extra cash for like gas or whatever, fill in some gaps. And so I started out with making decals for like windows and mugs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that Christmas was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months later, somebody asked me if I could make a t-shirt. And I was like, I don't know, but I'll give it a shot. And it's funny because my best stories or life experiences have been when I was like, I don't know, but like just saying yes to these things that I don't know if I know how to do, or like, let's figure this out. So that's how I ended up making shirts. Somebody asked me to make a dabbing Santa Claus. It was like I don't remember how to do it, t-shirt. And the first one I made, I accidentally, it took me like 2 days to make one shirt.
Wow.
And I accidentally left a little piece of masking tape on it underneath the vinyl. So, and I gave it to them and she was like, is this supposed to be on here? I was like, no, but here you go anyways. And I stuck with it because I have rheumatoid arthritis and my hands were really bad at that time. When you're working with sticky, like adhesive vinyl and you stick it to something, like that's it. If you messed up, you have to take it off and start all over again. But with t-shirt vinyl, it's not sticky, it's not adhesive, it's heat activated. So you can move it around and shift it all the way up until you press it with the heat press. So you have more flexibility and freedom. And if you stick it and you don't like what there are ways to actually remove it as well. So for me, it was the more forgiving process. And then I discovered like all these materials and like mine's made out of, has more actually rhinestones, the sparkle. And so, yeah, that's what, that's how I ended up doing that. So it's a creative outlet that I was able to make money at and help other people build their brand with their logos and whatnot on their own apparel.
So basically you design the t-shirt, then all that like the wording, like Terry, every day is a Monday or other, the wording is come by themselves, or you will give them suggestion about what wording to put on it?
So I'm really good at bringing people's ideas to life. So I mostly had people come to me and go, I saw this somewhere else. Can you make something similar? Or I've got this idea, but I don't know how to draw. And so I would design based on what they were telling me, and I would tweak and change it until it was just the way they wanted it. And then go ahead and cut the design and make the final product. But I did a lot of one-to-one kind of design work with people to I have a whole store full of stuff that I came up with or that I created too, on my Posh Notions website.
Mhm.
But I really enjoy the creative part of it, like coming up with like whatever the design is going to be. Now I'm going to get off of here from you guys. I'm going to start making more shirts and stuff,
Yeah.
right? So, but I'm actually, hi,
Yeah.
is that
So
5
fast.
minutes already?
Yeah, it's at 4 minutes. I thought you were giving the cue of you need to get out of there.
Who, me?
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
tuck
I'm
myself
sorry.
back down in the audience
It's
for
all
a minute.
right. No, I was just
All right.
talking with my hands. I was about to ask Peter,
Yeah.
but thank you, Terry, for the rescue mission. Um, how did you get into teaching? Like, well, how did you end up, teaching Japanese and whatnot to
Yeah,
other
I think
people?
it's because get the inspired from my Japanese teachers. When he teaching me Japanese, he is I think 60 years old already. Japanese, Japanese they quite lifelong learning and then they lifelong teaching as well. So I get the opportunity from him recommend me to go study in Japan. Then when I studied in Japan, then I always visit him and then learning about Japanese culture, history, all the food and everything from Japan. Then came back Malaysia. Then I will get inspired him. Then I teaching Japanese. From there, I think it's around 15 years since I teaching Japanese. Yeah,
Wow. Wow, that's incredible.
yeah,
That's super inspiring. Like to be um so focused on like
mhm,
teaching one topic,
yeah,
that you really get a chance to not perfect, I don't like the word perfect, but um just explore like every little piece of that topic, like you were saying about the culture and the food and
yeah,
every
mhm,
the language and everything else. You can like fully immerse yourself in that. I know I find myself sometimes bouncing a little too much from like one topic to the next.
mhm,
Um, but when I'm like really, really, really into something, it's almost like you're hyper focused where you can't pull yourself away from that thing, right? And that sounds like you've like found a way to fully immerse yourself completely in another culture. So that's really awesome.
yeah.
So cool.
Because I have different kind of the passion, but the main one will be teaching. Yeah, and I know that is when we speak the language, the person understand, then might go to their head. But then if you speak in their own language, then will go to their heart. So it's quite uh, important that we can
Okay.
speak their own language.
Yeah, I think it has like an element of
Mhm.
caring. Like it's a next level way to show somebody you care is taking the time to actually speak
Yeah,
in their native language for sure. Um, so
I love
well,
that, and,
I,
and
I,
I can relate to that as well too. So I spent years in different countries, like Germany, for example. I was in Germany for 13 years, and speaking the language, I'm telling you, it's not a very easy language
yeah,
to learn, but it's one
mhm,
of those things that, man, you really have to kind of immerse yourself into that
yeah,
environment, especially if you want to order food or you wanted to have like at least a general chat with someone. So we're going to bring on Lexi and we're going to bring on Lay next. Great conversation, great
thank
collaboration,
you.
you two. And let's go ahead and get Lay up here and let's get Lexi up here. Have a great conversation.
Hello, Lexi. How are you doing tonight? Can you turn on your mic, please?
Yes, thank you. I
Very
turned it
nice.
off.
I think it's the second time we're able to chat with each other. We did an IG live long time ago.
Yes, we
So
did.
nice. So
Yeah.
when you think of your passion, can you remind me what is, so you talked about music, what is another passion of yours?
Well, I guess what I actually talked about languages.
Okay.
So I'm learning languages. I'm learning Spanish at the moment.
Mhm.
And the last time I was in France, which was a couple of weeks ago, I was in Paris.
Okay.
I noticed that it was easier to actually understand what they were saying.
Okay.
because I did get French in high school.
Oh, I see.
So I can sort of read it, I can understand it. So hence why I can say, "Hey, bonsoir, Alain." Comment ça va?
Ça va très bien.
But when it comes to really emerging in a language, I think I did it with the English language. So my phone is in English. Everything I basically watch, if I have the possibility, I don't have Dutch subtitles, I will have English subtitles. And it's actually come to a point that when I'm in the US now, people are like, "Where are you from? You are from America, but we can't tell where you're
Yeah.
from." Then I say, "No, I'm from the Netherlands."
Okay.
But being able, I'm not sure if it's passion, but I do feel passionate about it, to actually understand people.
Yeah.
That's that's nice, and to be able to communicate with them, reach out. So usually when I go to a foreign country, I try to talk to them in their own language.
Yeah.
But at some point it always gets a little bit difficult when you really want to try and explain something and you have not enough words
Yeah.
to say it.
But
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
I
But
want to say you're a teacher. So how about you?
so that's a good question. I would say that with all the online trying to share what I know, I would say my one of our big passion is the hiking outside, to go in the forests, or if I have a chance to explore the land, that's what I like to do. So giving a chance between going to the beach or going in the forest or the mountains, I would like to go in the mountains, and not just for hiking, but everything that goes with it. What you can hear, the wind in the trees and so on, the animals, but also the smells. It grounds me. If you ask me to do any meditation, yoga, or any activities like this, I just can't do it. But if I go for a hike outside, then it just brings me peace and it grounds me uh, so much that when I don't do enough of it, I can feel it, and I support say, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk, and that's probably one of my big passion as well.
Oh, I love it. Well, if you look on my phone, you see all these videos and photos
Hmm.
of places where I've been. And today I actually took a couple of pictures again, things that catch my eye. So I
Yes.
always say I'm a tourist in my own country. And of course, I'm a tourist everywhere else, but I like to capture those moments. So that this for me would be one of the reasons to go outside, visit places, not necessarily nature, but nature, and it's a little hard for me to
Yeah.
walk in nature still. So it might change again because it
Yeah.
can be
But
really quiet. So I get what you're saying, really the grounding, just the
yeah.
birds,
But
observing those little
that's right.
things.
But taking pictures, like it doesn't mean you have to be in the like in deep forest. Like you can do it in a
Mhm.
city, you can do it everywhere. And the beauty with pictures, it gives you a chance to be appreciative of the present moment. And too often our mind is in the future, the past. We never sit still. And I think what you're saying is great. You take pictures, and then it gives you a chance to appreciate the moment. And I think that's we don't do enough of that. So thank you for sharing that today.
Thank you so much.
It's
So, is Terry going to change, or can I ask you about another passion? We are going to change. Yes.
No, you
that's
can go
all
ahead.
right.
You still have 2 more minutes. Go ahead.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, well, I was wondering about one other passion you might
Yep.
have.
To you. So
No,
let's see.
you.
Um,
Yeah.
that's a good question. So you live in the Netherlands. It seems from what I hear from you that you're traveling quite a bit, because Europe is a big stretch of land, but countries are very close to each other. So,
Mhm.
so you said you went to France not too long ago. So have you been to many different countries? Because traveling can be a passion.
I've been to Prague, to the UK, Germany, France, Belgium. I've been on the boundary of Luxembourg, Spain, and the US, of course. I think that's about it.
Okay. And
Is
what
that
is your,
enough?
that's perfect. And what's your next? So do you have one place you'd like to go next? If they say in the next 6 months or
Oh,
12 months?
well, I really got a passion for Chicago the last time I was there, but it's a little bit cold. I like the warmth. So I'm thinking maybe I go to London for Christmas.
Okay.
Maybe I'll visit the Christmas markets in Germany.
Okay.
It's a little bit
Nice.
closer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's meeting people, seeing things. And recently I discovered these quite a few really pretty old Dutch cities in my own country.
There you
And
go.
every time I'm thinking, I need to take my the big camera with the big lens
Mm-hmm.
and then just go take some pictures.
Yeah.
And I can do it again. Now I'm no longer using crutches.
There you
And
go.
we have a lot of the old fashioned mills actually in those places.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, that would be cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, warmth. That's where I like to go now.
Okay.
Anywhere where it's warm.
Nice. I do enjoy the winter, so I'm a bit biased that way. So it's getting colder, and I'm enjoying it tremendously. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And wintertime is so much fun, you know,
Mhm.
and as we're getting ready for the holidays and everything, it hasn't snowed here yet, but it's
Okay.
starting to cool down quite a bit. Has it already snowed in Canada?
In Toronto, we had 2 mornings. We had about a centimeter of snow, but it just melted during the day. So
Yeah.
it's coming slowly. It's supposed to be about 10 or 11 degrees this weekend, so it's not going to happen. But by the time we get to Christmas, we have snow.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so. That would
What
be
about in the Netherlands?
Well, it's starting to freeze, so it's really cold, and there might be a little bit of snow next week.
Mhm.
But
Awesome.
it's more exception than the rule. So I'm really getting I'm still not used to the cold outside. So I've got a sweater in my car. And today I really had to put up the sweater and then another jacket, just to stay warm outside.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring Peter on up here, and we're going to go ahead and do our collaboration here. So, Peter, man, I'm excited to
Yeah.
talk with you. I know, Peter, man. I just want to first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for all of your support over on Clubhouse, here
Thank
on
you.
our live streams. Man, you are truly unbreakable and a part of the family and all the things that we're doing. So I just want to send a big shout out to you and say thank you for your passion to help out, to serve and support others, everything. It definitely does not go unnoticed.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Awesome. So being a teacher and teaching language and everything,
Mhm.
you know, you have to have kind of a special passion, not only passion, but patience. And I truly
Yeah.
believe that whenever you have passion mixed with patience to teach people, especially when they're just like, why are you not getting it? It is so simple. It's right there in front of you. Like, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
how do you maintain your passion and your patience whenever someone is just not getting it? Like, well, I want to quit. This is it. I'm done with this. Have you ever had like those students that just really like takes it out of you?
Yeah, definitely. Because as I mentioned, that different person learning that different way. So what I'm going to do is I really need to put in their shoes. So really need to get involved in it. So to see what they can improve of it. Because someone said that if you tell me, I will forget.
Mm,
If you teach me, I will remember.
mhm,
But if you involve me, I will learn.
mm.
So I really need to involve myself and then let them involve in the situation. Then they can learn and continue to learn again to progress what they want to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, man. It's that immersive learning that really gets
Yeah.
to the heart
Mm.
of the learning process. And how familiar are you with the experiential learning model?
Yeah, you shared with me before that different kind of learning model. So
Mhm.
what I'm using is literally get them involved in with the different kind of the situation and different kind of the technology method. That before that we just learn throughout the paper. You answer, you learn the textbook. But what right now is with the technology, I let them do the quiz, and then do the role model, role player, then they can learn from it.
Mhm. I love it. I just also want to say that I love your videos that you always posting out there across social media and everything. What got you
Yeah.
into creating the videos, and how did that become a passion of yours?
Yeah, this is one of my passion that I learned during the pandemic.
Mm,
Yeah. So because during the pandemic, I think I want to learn one more new skills that I come across this software. Then I think it's really is a amazed that when you watch the nowadays everyone want to watch the video, short video. So I try to use this kind of software to create the animation. Like currently I use Evan Carmichael voice. Then I put in the white as a background, then I put in the animation. So
mm,
this is will be create more interest to those who want to watch the animation.
mhm.
And also this animation not only for we adult to use, and even my sons they can draw it, and sometimes they also put in their voice in, then they create it as an assignment. Because during the pandemic, you cannot pass the homework as a physical the paper, then the teacher is giving them, okay, you can pass throughout the Google Classroom,
Mhm.
then they can use this kind of software to create the assignment as well.
Yeah, I love that. And there's a huge opportunity right now for
Yeah.
things like that, especially on like Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, even TikTok. So using trending audio along with maybe some
Yeah.
key hashtags and
Mhm.
getting those the doodle art out there. I really believe that if you was to use that in such an angle to where you're teaching people certain things, you
Mhm.
know, whether it's I love that you was teaching like Japanese words. You're getting people engaged. You're teaching people, because here's the thing, you know, the internet was created for a lot of different reasons and things, but I
Yeah.
truly believe that it's to inform, educate, or entertain. And if you have a passion for any one of those, to inform, educate, or entertain, you're
Mhm.
going to be successful out on the internet, because there's definitely a lot of resources and tools and
Yeah.
techniques and ways in which to get out there. And you know, and for me, it's like, man, I wear myself too thin. Bonnie even pointed this out one time. She's like, man, you're everywhere. You wear yourself too thin. Like, get super niche down, super focused. I was like, I don't
Mhm.
want to. All these things must happen. They must live. They must breathe. You know, so let me ask you something. You know, is there like a passion that you've yet to discover? You're like, it's there, but yet you've yet to take action on it.
Well, never thought of it. Yes, I need to think of it. What kind of others passion about? Because currently it's teaching, what more animation and podcast. Later on, I will ask you about the podcast as well. So podcast is one of my passion to share the story about what
Yeah.
I interview others. Yeah.
I have a passion to be in like either a movie or a TV series
Mhm.
or some type of television or big screen type of a thing. And it hasn't happened yet. But here's the thing, as I'm building, as I'm creating, as I'm
Mhm.
evolving, it's eventually going to lead to those things. So I always are looking forward to like, what's the next thing that I haven't done yet? What's the next thing that I can build the bridge to? Because I ultimately have this ultimate passion that I haven't achieved it yet. I haven't like done the thing. I've never been in a movie. I've been on TV before, but I've never actually been on like, you know, like Bonnie, for example, she was on TV, she was on a show, and I'm sitting here looking at that like, ooh, that is
Wow.
amazing. Like that was such a great performance in how she performed and how she prepared for that.
Mhm.
But it was one of the things that I think when she shared that, she never saw that coming. She never saw that, like, it's there. I want to really kind of get out there. I want to do this thing. There it is. And then now you take action. And now from that action, you discover a new purpose for a new
Yeah.
passion you never thought possible because of the thing, because of that. And that's where I truly believe that when you take action, you're going to get those results, and you may discover a passion you never really thought, or, you know, that you you could have had. So for me, it's acting. I don't like to dance. I don't like to do all these different things. I love to speak. I love to write music and this, that, and the other. But I've got like a hidden passion of being an actor, along with a famous musician as
Mhm.
well too. So it's kind of a hidden passion there, and
Wow.
I think that's really valuable, because a lot of people, they really kind of only look surface level without going like, what's that next layer? What's that under the skin? What's at the heart of like the things that you're most passionate about? Because you might not necessarily be taking the right actions that's going to lead you to that ultimate passion that you may have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so with students, students that have a passion to learn, as a teacher, how do you make that passion of learning come true?
Wow, it's a great question. So when they, for example, they just learning the language, then they can really have the time, the opportunity to speak with Japanese. Then it's one of my achievement.
Mm.
And beside that, when they can communicate with Japanese, they can pass the exam, the Japanese language proficiency test. Then it's another achievement for me.
Yeah, I love that, man. Peter, thank you so much. Great collaborations tonight. So here's what I want to do. I want to bring everybody back on. We're
Yep.
going to go ahead and get ready to close things down, but I want to bring everybody back on and have final thoughts here. So I'm bringing everybody back on one by one. We're going to go ahead because we've been at it for about an hour and 20 minutes, and I want to get to
Yeah.
the after show here tonight as well too. So here's what we'll do tonight, man. Truly phenomenal conversation. We've been talking about what is passion, and we've been sharing what is your passion. So I want to do final thoughts here. We'll work our way around. I see Alay first, Mariella, Lexi, Peter, Bonnie, and I'll close things out. So Alay, we'll go ahead and get on over to you first. What are your final thoughts about our discussion here tonight?
Okay, my final thought will be what happened in the last minute or so with that question. What passion haven't you taken action on? You know,
Yeah.
that I think that sums up all of what we've talked about. I wrote it down, and that is my saying and my quote for this week. Thank you to all.
I love that. Mariella, over to you.
Well, first I'd like to say hi, Lexi, and sorry, I haven't seen her forever. But basically, I like to say that continue doing what you gotta do, because maybe you give up on yourself, but people have not give up on you. So just remember that, and just continue to set goals to pursue what you need to do.
I
That's it.
love that. Mariella, thank you so much. Lexi, over to you. What are your final thoughts tonight?
I love that question. What passion do you have that you haven't taken action on? And I would like to add why.
Mm.
Yeah. And good to see you, Mariana.
Me too.
I love that. Lexi, thank you so much. Peter, over to you. What are your final thoughts tonight?
Yeah, my final thought is that passion is energy. So give the energy, give the momentum, give the consistency to do what you love. Thank you.
Peter, thank you so much. Bonnie, over to you. Final thoughts.
I just love that we all got to come together. Some faces we haven't seen in a while, right? And just really share those different things that we're passionate about and what does it mean to us. And also, I just love that when we do come together and collaborate like this, that we get to see different sides of the people that we know, and B, different sides of a topic that we thought we understood and knew and felt a certain way about, and it gives you a chance to just explore some other options. So that's it.
I love that, Bonnie. Thank you so much. And before we go, I just want to highlight one quick thing here before we go. Bonnie made this absolutely amazing printout right here. And I just want to pop this up here on the screen right here. It is the I Am Unbreakable printout here. So Bonnie made this right here, and it's at unbreakablestories.com/share. If you go to unbreakablestories.com/share, you can print this out right here, and you can take a picture of yourself and put it across social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've put our socials up there. You can tag us. You can tag us and use the hashtag #MyUnbreakableStory. That'll let us see that, and we want to share that across our social media, and we want to let people know that you too are unbreakable. So Bonnie, thank you so much for creating that. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, your skills, your passion, the things that we are all passionate about. And, and I want to iterate on that final question as well, too. And it's such a great question. It's like, what is something that you're passionate about that you've yet to take action on? And I tie that to a lot of different things. Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe it's I don't have the right tools, the right information, the right resources, courage, confidence, all those different things, the knowledge, the skills, the experience. Sometimes you just need that little push, that little tough love to kind of take that next step. We talked about a lot of different things here tonight. And man, I am truly blessed and truly filled here tonight because we all have different passions, and those passions bring us all together. It's nothing like good food that brings people together. It's nothing like good music that brings people together. It's nothing like good tips, tools, techniques, resources, knowledge, experience, learning, teaching that brings people together. It's nothing like good workouts and exercise, like Alay mentioned about hiking. I too have a passion for working out, but I don't always work out. I don't always share that or post that or anything like that. But yeah, I do work out. I do some different things. I have a passion for it, but it's a side of my life that I just don't make public. And I think that, you have a passion for sharing things. You have a passion for being out there into the public eye, but yet you don't really share all parts of your life. And I truly believe that it takes a little bit of vulnerability of expressing your passion. Like for me, I have a passion for music, but yet I don't put myself out there. It's like I'm shy, I'm nervous, I'm scared. It's like I don't want to get my music out there. And I've learned a long time ago that, oh my goodness, people will often judge you from a place of their weakness when they do not understand your strength. At the opposite end of that spectrum, you don't really know how strong you are unless you get that out there into the world. And you will discover that when you take that action, you will get results. And those results could lead to your next passion. You never know. Like I didn't know I had a passion for certain things until I started doing certain things. It's like, ooh, it reinvigorated some passions within my life because I've always been a great speaker. I've always been a great teacher, a great communicator, but I really didn't discover how much I really liked it until I started talking with Bonnie, until we started creating Unbreakable Stories, until we started doing Clubhouses, till we started doing live streams. I didn't want to do that. It was like, oh, I don't want to do this today. Gosh, this sucks. And, I'd make up every excuse within the book and every man. But I have to challenge that. Is it really a passion if you make up excuses on why you're not doing the darn thing? And I was like, ooh, man, that hit me different. That hit me right in the face when I was just sitting there like, man, I've got a passion for this thing, but now I'm complaining about doing the thing. It's not really a passion, but I do, man. Every time that I look around, I see people that are just moaning, groaning, complaining about all these different things, but you have time, you have resources, you have passion, you have purpose, you have a way in which to do the things that you say you want to do. My challenge to you is to just do the darn thing. Do that and let the universe speak for itself. Stop procrastinating, stop judging yourself. Just do the thing. Get it out there. And I struggle with that too. So that's going to be a challenge for myself. Get my music out there. Just do the darn thing. So if you have a passion that you have yet to get out there within the world and you're holding back on something, man, put that out there and let the universe speak. You never know. Somebody else may like it. Different people like different things differently. Different people interpret different things differently. It's all a matter of perspective. But if you never get that out there, one, you will never really fully discover what your full passion is. And two, you will never inspire somebody else to take up a passion because they look up to you as their mentor, their leader, their teacher, their chef, their musician, their t-shirt designer. I mean, I could go on and on with all this, but each and every one of you, I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I am proud. Peter, I'm proud of you. Bonnie, I'm proud of you. Lexi, I'm proud of you. Mariella, I'm proud of you. Alay, I am proud of you. Each and every single one of you are fulfilling your passion every single day. And it's hard. It's hard. There's roadblocks, there's struggles, there's things that tend to get in your way. But I want you to understand this. And this is my final thought here tonight before we close things down. It is from your passion in which you can take action that will motivate, inspire, encourage, but more importantly, empower other people. Because remember, if it's possible for you, it's possible for somebody else. And this has been Unbreakable Stories. My name is Terry Thompson. I'm the host of Unbreakable Stories, along with my absolutely amazing co-host, Bonnie, and all of our Unbreakable family members right here. Go to our website, unbreakablestories.com. Print this out. I'm telling you, print this out. Get you a t-shirt. We look forward to you being a part of the Unbreakable family. We will see you in the next episode. Until then, take action every single day and show the world that you too are unbreakable. Have a great night.